Perfectionism is probably one of the most anti-human things to do. Bringing in a robotic style of behavior to a naturally flowing, dynamic thing that we are as human beings. And today I want to share with you something that I believe will alleviate some of that pressure and give you a sense of perspective that you never really probably ever thought about. And I am beyond excited to share it with you. For my returning viewers, welcome back. I am beyond grateful to have you in this community, and especially after yesterday where it was a unfiltered video for sure. I was throwing out a lot of raw emotion there, and you came to support, you shared your thoughts, and I am more grateful than you could understand. If you're a new viewer to this channel, welcome. My name is Esteban, and I help guide and mentor individuals rediscover their sense of self by peeling back the stories that have been controlling our lives, such as being a people pleaser, an overachiever, someone who feels that they are not worth anything, that they can never be anything. That is my purpose, to peel those back and reconnect you with who you actually are, an infinite being of potential. I'm going to start this with a paradox. And the paradox is, you are both a perfect, pure, divine creation. But at the same time, you are a work in progress. When we also look out into the world of our mainstream media, pop culture, and the way the masses have sort of taken on self-development and spiritual growth, they have taken that paradox and they have flipped it. We look at the pure spirit within somebody, and we deem that to be something fixable, something that needs to be corrected. But then simultaneously, we look at everything on the exterior and say that is perfect the way it is. But you can understand how if you sit with that, even just in practice now, if you sit with it flipped, that's going to create a suffering. Why? Well, because you can't run away from yourself. You can't escape. And you are essentially forced to live with whatever is going on inside you. And within you, that light that you have knows and tells you there are things we need to achieve. There are things we need to work on. There are things we need to make peace with. There are things we need to let go of that are related to the exterior, that are related to the way we look, to the way we speak, to the way we act, to the job we do, or the business we operate. And we're telling the exterior, it's perfect. It's fine just the way it is. And while we self-criticize the interior, the inner world, for not just going along with what the exterior wants to do, what the ego wants to do, my proposal is that you see it the other way around. If you, for one moment, imagine what your life would feel like if you were fully knowing that what you have behind all these layers, all the layers of imperfection, all the layers of stories and trauma and pain, everything that you have, the observer that sits behind all those things, how would it feel to you if you can reside in that place and feel infinite love, warmth, courage, ambition, and purpose? That because you have that place, you can then now decide, you know what? I want to get in better shape. Whatever that means to you. I want to clean up the way I eat. I want to start a business where I help people doing X, Y, and Z. I want to start being a better person to my neighbor. I want to start saying kinder words to those around me. How would that feel? That you can build yourself to the exterior, but you are not attached to it because you are familiar with something more perfect, something more grounded. And so when someone criticizes the exterior, can it sting? Of course it can sting. We're still human beings. We have emotion, especially if it's a particular complex that we're struggling with. If they hit that right spot, oh, buddy, yeah, it can hurt. But knowing that you can reside back to the place that, in my belief, God exists. God exists behind the layers of narrative and story and speaks through the divine child that you have within you. And when you can reside in that place, it doesn't matter what people say, what people do, how long it takes you to get where you want to go. But if you've seen it the other way around, if you experience life the other way around, then nothing you ever do at the exterior will be enough. You criticize the inner voice, or we reject the inner voice, the inner intuition, we reject it, and continue purporting this perfectionist style of living. Acting out perfection, or just verbalizing that we are perfect. I'm perfect, there's nothing wrong with me, there's nothing wrong with me, there's nothing wrong with me. Further dumping everything into the shadow. And we all know what happens in the shadow. It's a live place. It has a mind of its own, and it will leak, as I call it. It will leak through in your actions, it will leak through in your thinking, it will leak through in everything. And if we are not aware of it, all these things, all these narratives, all these complexes and shadows, they shape your destiny. To have access to your destiny is to have access to your inner self behind all those pains. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's something I want to ground. For years of my life, I've always aimed to be perfect on the exterior while simultaneously criticizing my interior, my inner self, my inner world, for not being the perfect image. When the whole time that inner world is perfect, irrationally perfect, but it's private to you. It's not something we share to everybody else. This is something that stays with you. And knowing that and sitting within that long enough will eventually bring forward, like I said, the courage to grow. Because growth is God's creative power flowing through. That's what growth is. Things grow. We always aim to grow. Whether small, long, doesn't matter. It's a part of the human existence. And the suffering often happens when we feel that not happening. We're not growing. We're regressing. We're either static or moving backwards. I want you to, for this week, implement that thought. Practice. What would your life look like if you flipped the script? Or if you never even knew you can live in that paradox, I want you to try to live in that paradox. You are both a perfect being, but also simultaneously a work in progress. And sit within that. And then imagine yourself what your life would be if you can reside into that place that sits behind the pain, that sits behind the narrative that you've been living by for your whole life. That place of warmth and love and comfort and courage and power exists. That will allow you the room, the container to then build the life you want as fast or as slow as you desire. And knowing that nothing or very little can hurt the exterior because the interior is impenetrable. And if you're also wanting to do a more self-paced version of finding the loops that keep you stuck, what are the overthinking, the fear of failure, the self-sabotaging, if you want to figure out at a self-paced way where these stories come from, where these narratives originate, and you want to do it with yourself first. If you click the first link, I just uploaded my newest free guide, The Identity Initiation. And this is a process of diving deep into the center of our being, which is, it's a lot to experience, a lot to confront. It could be very difficult. But I have a whole guide that I made just for that, walking you through it step by step. And so I really believe it'll benefit your life and it'll benefit your journey towards integration and living with wholeness that you've been craving. So you can click that first link down below. And if you also want to work with me personally on this journey, you can click the second link. And then, of course, I have something I'm working on currently. I'm not yet going to announce what it is, but I just want to plant in your mind that there's something coming out that I really believe will help a lot of you. And it's something that I would have loved to be a part of. Thank you very much. And I will see you on the next video.